everyone, and welcome to Crossroads Community Church. We are so glad you joined us online, and we would love to have you with us in person on Sunday mornings at 9 or 11 a.m. At Crossroads, we start where you are. Our mission is to see you connect with God through a relationship with Jesus. We pray that even through this video, that God will show you how much He loves you and that you will grow closer to Him. Did you know that we have a Crossroads Community Church app? It's now easier than ever to watch your favorite messages online. Know the latest on what is going on at Crossroads. Get connected to our groups and much more. Just search Crossroads Community Church Yorktown or text Crossroads VA space app to 77977. We are a generous church full of generous people. We believe generosity helps people and changes our community. If you would like to partner with us financially, then you can give online either on our website or using our app. Thank you again for checking us out today, and we hope you enjoy this message from our most recent service.
That's my favorite part, the little wink at the end. I was kind of joking with you about it not being Christmas earlier, but tonight it's going to be Christmas here for our Christmas party. It's going to be incredible. All the little elves have been working all week long. If you're an elf in the room, you know who you are. They've been working, making little Christmas trees and all kind of these giant candy ball things. All kinds of craziness has been happening, and we love it. We love Christmas time here at Crossroads. As you can see, it's one of our favorite times of the year, and so please invite somebody to come tonight, 6 to 8. There's going to be pie and other goodies, like hot chocolate and all kinds of other stuff. No meal tonight, just kind of dessert and family time, but it's not just for kids, it's for everybody. There's stuff for every member of the family, so please, please, please come. It's going to be an incredible time. All right? You going to come? Good, good. I hope to see you there. If you're not, I'll call you later this week. Have you ever gotten a gift that is really strange? Just as strange. Just be honest in the room today, okay? Just between me and you. Have you ever gotten just a strange gift, and when you opened it, it was so strange that you thought to yourself, there must be some kind of problem. Or maybe it's a mix-up, you know? I was raised in a big family. I'm the youngest of 5. So if that's you in the room, you understand this completely, that sometimes with Santa, things just happen. Like like wires get crossed, like elves go to the wrong place, wrapping gets put on the wrong box. And in my family, all the boys kind of got like boy wrapping paper, right? Like cars or like, army men or like superheroes or stuff like that. Just how Santa worked in my house. And all the girls, they kind of got like Barbie wrapping paper or like girl kind of stuff, right? And there have been many, many times in my life where I've gotten a present on my lap and it's in like the pink wrapping paper, right? Or my sisters got a present and it was in the like guy wrapping paper, and you kind of sit there with like a funny look on your face, like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And it says, you look at the tag like one more time. It says, to Paul from Santa. Okay, all right. Let's just go for this, right? And you open it up, and the gift inside is just so strange that it makes you feel like you're being punked or something. You're kind of looking around, you're like, ha, 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 okay. Or especially from those people that are like distant relatives. I've told this story a couple times from here, I think. But when Nate was first born, we got a present in the mail, like just a box, and it was obviously from a family member. And we opened it up, and it was from Mary's dad, who lives in Oregon. And it was like this pink, like onesie. There was like it said something on there, just like, it didn't say it's a girl, just something kind of gender neutral, baby thing. I don't even know what it was. And I should have brought it with me because I have it at the house. But it's pink. And hey, I like pink just like the next fella. I have pink shirts. There's nothing wrong with pink. But it really was very, very feminine. And so we start getting a little hot in the house. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is does he not know? That we had a boy? What's going on here? And Mary said, oh, he's colorblind. He's colorblind. I was and he is. He's colorblind. So he didn't even know. He just thought it was a gray, onesie that was congrats, hi, And so we all got really hot, and then we're oh, okay, I understand what's going on. But there's something that happened in our family over and over and over again, and it might have happened in your family. That it wasn't a mistake. It was on purpose because it was repeated over and over again, and it might be repeated. And it's really what this whole series is about. Mary's granddad used to get me underwear every single Christmas, okay? Every single Christmas. And I went this morning, to Walmart to purchase said underwear, okay? Because I believe that that's where it came from, okay? Every time. So I went to get the underwear, and believe it or not, this is the exact pair of underwear that I received, okay? And yes, and it is 2XL, which I've lost a little weight, but I haven't lost that much weight, okay, ever. Okay, I've never, ever been, if I open these, because I need to return them because they're expensive, it would drape over this entire table, okay? Just put that in a picture, see this picture right here, and then imagine this here, okay? Just use your imagination. You can do that. And then what is really sad is that this morning, at 8 o'clock in the morning, this is the last pair of this underwear at Walmart, okay? Which tells me something. There are other sick individuals, many other sick individuals, like the underwear truck hasn't come in yet, and they've bought up all of this underwear at this time of the year to give it to people, okay? This has to stop, okay? This is wrong, okay? It's not in the Bible anywhere. I'm going to study, okay? This week, I'm going to try and find, it's wrong. Thou shalt not give this to people you love, okay? Now, and the whole series is sometimes we do get what we need. Maybe this is what we need, but you know what else is what we need? A gift card, okay? A gift card, and if I need underwear, I can use gift card to buy the underwear, okay? And this is just me just venting. It's been a while. I need to talk about this. This is really good. For me to do that this series has come along. But we're in a series called Socks and Underwear. Never leave home without them. I think that should have been the tagline we were talking about earlier. Never leave home without socks and underwear. But it's so strange that sometimes you get things and you think, is this for me? Is this designed for me? Are you serious? This is what you're going to get me? And then the other bad thing about this underwear is that just like this one, just like I thought, there's a strange opening in the bottom. What is the procedure for returning these things, okay? I know you're not supposed to wear them and return them, but there's a small hole right here. And there's always a small little hole which keeps you from being able to fully return them. And you don't ever get the receipt. Do you know where these are from? So how many stores sell Fruit of the Loom 2XL 44 to 46 size underwear? Lots of them in my town. So I went from store to store to store. Said, hey, could you scan this and see if this came from here? Because I really want to return it. All right? And I stood in those really crazy lines. You know what the craziest lines are? They're not the buying lines at Christmas, right? They're the return lines, right? When everyone is lying, okay? Everyone doesn't know where this gift came from. They don't have the receipt, and they're like, yeah, it came from here. Yeah, it came from here. And everybody does the same thing. Well, you know what, sir? This is open. So we can't, you're going to have to keep this for all time, forever, okay? Strange things like that just happen at Christmas, and I just love the awkwardness of when you open the gift, and you do that, the thing that deserves the Academy Award for the most disingenuous thank you of all time. It's you, sir, received the Academy Award. Most disingenuous thank you. And you're like, oh, thank you, thank you for that. And you do that thing, and you're just And the person's like, yeah. A couple years ago, I was at a Christmas party for college students from CNU, and they were all at my house. And one of the girls, who's not here right now, because might not say this in second service. It's an exclusive story. She made those cake balls like you get at Starbucks, you know what I mean? Those little cake balls. And she had made them in her dorm room, right? And she had decorated them all like little snowmen, and she worked really hard. I'm looking at a college student who's in the middle of exams. She works really hard on whatever kind of apparatus she like rigged up in her dorm room to make these cake balls, right? And she's like, Paul, you have to eat one of those cake balls. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas party. I made them. You have to eat one. And I was like, yeah, girl, I'm going to eat one of those. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And so we're all sitting there. She's looking right at me. I take one of those Christmas festive, and I bite into it, and there's this huge hair. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? That hair. No, I'm talking about this hair that's just in there, man. It's in there. And there's no getting around it, okay? And she's got that same look on her face that everybody gets this time of the year. Like and I'm taking a bite, like, oh, And you know what? I've eaten guinea pig in Ecuador, okay? I have, not to offend somebody. I've eaten it. I've eaten lots of things in India that I'm not quite sure what they were. They were just spicy. But in this moment in the United States of America, I swallowed that and ate that, and that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. And it was all because of this one look like, and it's Christmas that does this to us, okay? At any other time in the world, I'll be like, there's a hair in this. What in the world, you know? But no. Christmas time, we do stuff like this, okay? We give people gifts like this, okay? And the real question is like, what do we do when we get things that just doesn't seem to fit us? That gift that you get that your family member is going to look for the next time they come over to your house, that my wife, she hates knickknacks, okay? You might be a knickknack person. What do people call it around here? Like knickknacks, little trinkets, like a little bear or like something that's like sits on the shelf. Like she like loathes it. She can't stand it, right? It drives her crazy. So like for a joke sometimes I go on a trip and I'll get a little knickknack or like a little cup or something, Like what am I going to do with this? And so, there's these things that people look for, things that just don't fit, and you want to move them on in the white elephant game that you have at your office party, or you want to move them on and re-gift them or something like that, and whether you do that or don't do that, that's up to you, okay? I'm not going to judge you. But what do we do with stuff that just doesn't seem to fit? And we've been in this series, in this story that's been in John, and we're looking at John's view of Christ coming. Last week, he says that he's the Word, and he uses the name, he's the Word. In the beginning was the Word, the name, the Word. And we find out that he was with God even before time began. So this Word, this person, this thing named the Word, the message, is with God, and he was God. We find that out last week. And so I want to just continue on this track and in this same passage of Scripture and see what comes next. Okay, you guys okay with that? We'll do that for a little while, and then we'll go home, and you guys can play in the snow. All right. Things don't always happen the way we expect them. We saw that last week. I mean, the king of the world, this ruler, is supposed to come in all of his might and all of his power, and they're going to write history books about him, and guess what happens? He's born in a what? A barn? In a manger, and where they feed people, where they feed animals. And just imagine that if you've ever had barnyard animals. Like it's not always the most sanitary of environments. So the king of the world, this ruler that's going to come and rescue people from these great powers like Rome, he's going to come, and his story starts in a barn. This isn't quite what we expected. I'll get it out in a minute. Quite what we expected. So check this out. John 1, 10 and 11. We'll park here for just a while. It says this. He came, meaning Jesus, into the very world he created. But the world didn't recognize him. He came to his own people, and even they rejected him. I think this is one of the most important verses around Christmas. A lot of times we read a lot of other verses about Christ's birth, but John's perspective on Christ's birth and just the sadness of this, I think is something that we need to kind of hold on to. I think it's really important, and it can change a lot of our perspectives around Christmas, okay? And I think it's really important. He came into the world that he created. Okay, if you go back into Genesis, we find out that Jesus himself, the Word, is very active in speaking things into existence. Like, in the beginning was the Word. He's just speaking. And from John's account, it leads us to believe that Jesus himself created the world, actively was a part of creating the world and us. And look at the sadness here. He came into the very world that he created. The very world that he created, like trees, grass, people. Wow, like let's make them this way, make them look this way. So when I come, like we'll recognize each other and we'll have this relationship. He came into the very world he created, and they didn't recognize him. He came to his own people, and even they rejected him. Wow, sadness at Christmas of this. And what they said, what they're saying is, Jesus, you don't fit. You don't fit with this story. You don't fit. Like, there is a story that's supposed to happen, and the Messiah is supposed to be this way. Yes, you are prophesied, but you're, thank you, I guess. It's not quite what we were looking for. It might be what we need, but not quite what we were looking for. And all of us have done this in living rooms. We take the gift out and we put it on, and it's too big or it's too small, and you do the best you can, right? To kind of squeeze into it. It's like, oh, maybe it's because I got my pajamas on. Okay, let me take that. Let me put, and it's just not going to work. Everybody in the room knows it just isn't going to work. And maybe it's just way too big, and you think, do you even know who I am? Like, a human like me has never worn anything this size. Like, this is so huge. Do you not even know that I'm a boy? Like, why is it pink? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't even wear this kind of underwear. Like, last year I told you that I don't wear this, but it's still awesome that this year you got it for me again. And so I can just feel people having this feeling about Jesus. It's like, if you're telling me that this is the Messiah, see, he doesn't fit with what's supposed to happen. It's not right. You might be saying, how could these people reject that cute little baby, right? Oh, you know how cute he was? He's so cute, right? You know, we've all rejected Jesus too, right? I don't want to surprise you with that this morning, but we've all rejected Jesus too. In some way or another, there's been times that Jesus has come into our lives. He might have come into your life many, many times. You might be in this room and you've rejected Jesus over and over and over again. You can look back through the time that you've been alive, and you can see people, person after person after person after person, have come to you and have told you about Jesus and told you about a relationship with him, and you've rejected that and rejected that and rejected that. And the reason why, I think, some of the reasons why we reject Jesus is that it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit what we want to do. It doesn't fit our culture. It doesn't fit what looks right or what is right to us. And we love the cute baby Jesus, right? We love the stories of the manger, and we love the stories of miracle Jesus. Jesus performing miracles and healing people and feeding people. But then Jesus gets into the teaching Jesus and the but I say Jesus. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And when you want to spend your heart, mind, soul, and strength on other things, there's kind of a conflict, Jesus. He kind of calls us out. And then there's the, life change, Jesus. It says, the way that you're living your life has to change. Like you've got to be different. If you're going to follow me, there's some stuff that you're going to have to let go of and some stuff you're going to have to put down, and there's going to be some people that make fun of you, and you might even end up the way that I ended up. And that's giving my life. Or maybe the way that these people that followed Jesus so closely ended up, run out of town. And even now in 2018, we look back and so many of us ridicule their life. What fools to follow a man like this. What fools. If you believe in Jesus, what a fool you are. You can believe in such a miracle worker or such a person that says that they raised themselves up from the dead. What a fool. Wow. We look back and we say, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit logic. There's no way that he could be real. It's such a stretch. It doesn't fit. But I've just a few goals for this morning, and as we move into kind of some more like meat and potatoes stuff here. Could we just reject less and receive more? Like one of the goals for me this Christmas, I just want to reject what God has for me. I want to reject it less, and I want to receive more. It's a simple goal. Can we just reject? Let's not put the defenses up so quickly. Receive more. Last week we saw that Jesus isn't exactly what we expected him to be. And we all have a tendency to reject him. It's born in us. It's our sin nature. We have just a rejection, a default in us. And I think there's just a couple reasons why we reject Jesus so much. And I want to look at those reasons, and I think that they can kind of clear some things up and maybe help you this week and during this season, okay? And so let's look at those. Last week, again, one of the reasons we might reject him is that we didn't expect socks and underwear. We didn't quite expect it to be wrapped in a manger and in swaddling clothes. We expected gold and fanfare and white horses and, Frozen or one of those Disney movies to happen, That's not exactly what happened. And this week, as I said before, it just doesn't fit. Why doesn't Jesus fit? Why doesn't he fit us? Okay? Well, first, I think he's too plain. He's too plain. Have you ever tried to buy a gift for someone who has that taste? Like that kind of taste? That's just like eccentric? And you walk around, you're like, no, they wouldn't like this, they wouldn't like this. My wife is kind of this way, but it's kind of the opposite way. She likes very plain, classy-looking things. I spend a lot of time in purse departments, okay? And they know me by name in some of these places, like Macy's. Like I just spend time just walking around. Nate and I just walk around. Nate's like, this one. I'm like, no, too fancy. No, got tassels. No tassels. I'm going through this list of things. And so there's always that gift that people just want, and we all have these different tastes. But I think Jesus is just a little bit too simple for many of us. Too simple. We can't just accept that what I have to do is believe. Like I just have to believe. There's not a job or a task or a mountain to climb. Like I'm not having to crawl anywhere. I'm not having to wear a certain cloak every day. I don't have to live in a cave or any of these things that other religions that might say that are ways for me to get closer to God. Like I don't have to do those things, that God is actually trying to come closer to me. And that's kind of a crazy idea that we're not having to approach God and climb up to him, but he crawled down to us. And that's a little bit of a simple idea for us. And so many of us reject Jesus because it's a little bit too simple and a little bit too plain. I spent many, many hours of my life in South American countries where Catholicism, hyper-Catholicism reigns. I've seen floats of saints go down the road, and I've seen people throw their money at them, and I've seen people bow to these saints. And I've talked to people at gas stations and in barrios and all over, and they say the same thing to me. Let me go home and let me get my life together. Let me clean myself up. And I hear this in the United States too. Let me get my house in order. Let me say sorry to this person. Let me go out for one more night. Let me have that one night stand with that one girl one more time, and then I'll come to church and I'll give my life to God, and I will. And I see that. It's not the way that Jesus wants to just to come into your life the way that you are and begin to change you from the inside out. But that's hard for us to accept. Maybe he's too big. Some people see, man, he doesn't fit because he's too big. What he's asking me to do is too overwhelming for me. He's just too overwhelming. Like, give my life. I don't even know what's going to happen in my life. I don't even know if I'm going to be employed next week. And here you're saying, give my life to Jesus, to what I might believe is even a fictitious character. Give my life to this. Like, that sounds so foreign, so huge. Can't wrap my mind around that. Too big. Way too big. Or maybe he's just not your style. Maybe one of the reasons that we reject him is just, like I said before, maybe it just doesn't fit your personal style. I'll let you know, I might like the idea of Jesus, but he might be a little bit too bold for me. You know what I mean? He's like white after Labor Day. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit like, I don't know if I should do that. Like, a little bit bold, a little bit out there, a little bit confrontational. I'm not quite sure that that's what I want to align my life with, is something that might come into opposition with somebody else at some point, that maybe there's some boundaries that I have to put on my life. That's not my style. See, I just believe in peace and love and for everyone, and I'm not quite sure what that means, but I believe in that. Like, I think everyone should have just peace and love, and like, there's no boundaries, and we should accept everything, and that's how I want to live. And Jesus is just not my style because he said some things that were not good for us, and I don't accept that. That's not my style. I reject you, Jesus, because you're not my style. I like the things that I'm doing, and I like the way that they're going. And if, Jesus, I put you on and I take you on into my life, then you begin to change some of those things, and that's not what I want to do. But here's a turning point in what I want to talk about today. We were not made for Jesus to fit us. We were not created for Jesus to fit us. We were created to fit him. We were created to fit him, because you realize that this life that we are all so privileged to have and to hold on to and to live and have so much fun in, it's only for men 82.3 years long. For women, right around the same amount of time. And in the light of eternity, in an eternity that looks as long as this stage, we only get to spend with our life and what we want this much time. This is our life on earth. This is our life in eternity. So Jesus, who created us, knows this. And he says, if I create you to only fit those 80-some years, those 70, whatever God gives us, those 25 years, those 16 years, we don't know how many years we have, right? If I create you for those years, when you get to spend eternity with me, it's not going to fit. You're not going to be happy in my heaven. You're not going to be happy with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send someone to earth, and he's going to live a model in front of you. And it's going to look like it doesn't fit you, and you're going to reject it. But it's important, and you should look at it, and you should try and shape your life to try and fit it. Because in eternity, there's going to be this time that lasts forever and ever and ever that you're going to spend with God, and you're going to need to be a different person. Some changes are going to happen so that you can live with God, with Jesus, in community forever. We were made to fit him. We get some challenges here in the next 10 minutes. In Peter, 1 Peter 2, 1 through 4, look at this. It's such a challenging verses to me. Get rid of all evil behavior. But I like evil behavior. I like doing things that are wrong. It makes me feel good, okay? Get rid of it. Ugh. Be done with all deceit. You mean even just the small white? Yes. Be done with it. Start moving it out. Pack it up. Get rid of it. Hypocrisy. Get it out. Jealousy. See, I like to make people jealous because you know that I get more attention. No, okay. And all unkind speech. Wow, what a challenge. Now, can we get here? Can we reach this every day? Are we going to live every day of our lives not being jealous? No, wait till Christmas time and other people are opening up gifts around you, okay? You're like, I would like to PlayStation. I would like that shirt. That would be good for me. I mean, do people actually get cars like that on the commercials? Because I wish that was me. I never got one of those bows on a car, you know what I'm saying? Looked out the window, oh. Have you seen the one with the two cars? Have you seen the one with two red cars? There's like a truck and then a red car. Is that the most unrealistic commercial in the history of all commercials? You got two. I love the truck. But the truck's for me. No, I love the truck. The truck's for me. No, I love the truck. That's the commercial. $200,000 is sitting in your driveway. He's like, ha, 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 I guess I'll drive the red one. I just want to blow my television up. Sorry, more venting. Sorry. Back to Peter. We can't always hit these things. That's what I mean, okay? Because I'm jealous in that moment. And all unkind speech. Like newborn babies, you must crave pure spiritual milk so that you can grow into a full experience of salvation. Cry out for this nourishment. Now that you have a taste of the Lord's kindness, you are coming into Christ, who is the living cornerstone of God's temple. He was what? Rejected by people. But he was chosen by God for great honor. If you have something that you can put up in your house, tattoo on yourself in your brain or somewhere, write it, Sharpie, something. Live your life to be rejected by people but chosen by God. Wouldn't at the end of your life to say, man, I might have been rejected by people, but I'm chosen by God. I'm chosen by him. That's a priority shift that we need to have in our lives, right? In my own life too. Down in verse 21. For God called you to do what? Good. Even if it means what? Suffering. Just as Christ suffered for you, he set the model. It didn't look like it fit, so they caused him to suffer. In the same way, what he's saying is you're not going to fit either. Just as Christ suffered for you, he is your example, and you must follow in his steps. He never sinned. Wow, that's tough. Nor deceived anyone. He did not retaliate when he was insulted. What a great model for us to look at. Nor threaten revenge when he suffered. He left his case in the hands of God, who always judges fairly. May that be said of me in my life. He personally carried our sin in his body on the cross so that we can be dead to sin and live for what is right. By his wounds, you're healed. Once you were like sheep who wandered away, but now you have turned to your shepherd, the guardian of your souls. What a great example we have that we should live toward, even though that doesn't fit right now. It doesn't fit, but it's what we need. He was the Savior that we needed. And the worship team is going to come, and we're going to go into just a practical time. It's difficult to always be talking about what we need. I know as just in my life as a married individual, sitting around a table with my family and talking about what we need to do this year for Christmas based on the budget that we have is not a fun conversation to have. It comes with like disappointment sometimes, and sometimes it comes with like, wow, we have, God's given us more so we can do more for like other people and for ourselves. That's part of it too. But many times those conversations that you sit around and have, they're kind of depressing. Because it's that you have to reject an idea that other people say that you should, something you should go for. Like that commercial I was talking about, like go ahead and buy or lease 2 vehicles, 2 red vehicles, and just get them because that makes you happy. Because you have a job and you're an American and you should have that. That's part of what we do at Christmas. We overspend. And so I guess what I'm asking you to do this morning is to look at the budget. In a minute, I will actually ask you to look at the budget, our church, but to look at what's right and what's good. What is right and what's good for you? And I'll tell you what it is. It's Jesus. It's him being in charge and calling the shots in your life. And you might be in this room and say, look, that's something that I've never done before. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Because I was in a place just like you, in a place like this. And I looked at Jesus and he did not fit my life. Even though in that moment, I called myself a Christian. I looked at Jesus and he just did not fit what I was doing. And I got a clear picture of him and what he was calling me to do and the way he was asking me to live my life. And I wasn't living my life that way. I was living my life in another way. And I didn't fit him. It wasn't so much that he didn't fit me because he was what I always needed. And I think that's the same for you. Whether you follow after Jesus in this room or not, we're made to fit him. And so to make it practical for today is don't reject and return the gift. Don't reject and return. Accept it and learn. Accept it and learn. Don't reject it and return it. Say, take this back. I don't want it. It's not for me. It wasn't never meant for me. But accept it and learn. Learn these things. Jesus is the most graceful, peaceful, understanding God you could ever encounter. He says that his mercies are new every single morning. Like, what God says that? What person even has mercies that are new every morning? Not me, and probably not even you. Our mercies get stale. But no, his mercies are new every morning. He wants to give us first, second, third, fourth, and fifth chances to return. So why are we trying to return him and reject him? Don't reject him today. Turn to him. Learn of his ways. He'll change your life. He'll do it. He's done it for me. He's still changing my life. So many in this room, we're not perfect. He's changing us. Don't return him. Don't reject him today. Turn to him. Learn from him. Let him give you that peace and that understanding. There are people all around the room I'll be at the front. There's others in the back and around the room. You shouldn't have to walk very far to talk to someone. But if today you might say, I'm looking at my life, I'm looking at the budget, I'm spending my life on myself, and it just doesn't, Jesus and me don't match. And I want to match him because I want to live with him forever. Maybe today you need to talk to someone and help us. We can help you. Us together can walk toward him. Let me pray. Father, thank you for this time and for the opportunity to speak your word and your gospel, which means message and news. And it's great news that you came for people just like us, people that are going to reject you, people that you know are in opposition to the way that you want us to live. But God, thank you that you're a God of second, third, fourth, fifth chances, and that you don't reject us. You accept us just the way we are. Help us to fit you and not worry so much about you fitting us. We love you and praise you. In Jesus' name we pray.